Field at Mile High in Denver. It's Week 18 of the NFL on EA Sports. It's the Denver Broncos taking on the Kansas City Chiefs.
Whiteout conditions throughout the Great Plains sure made travel difficult, but we're still expecting a full house at Empower Field at Mile High here in Denver. Welcome again, one and all. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Brandon Gaudin on hand alongside Charles Davis. And yes, the storyline here, the weather, snow, and more of it expected as this game continues. So how will that impact how this one goes?
Can these teams ignore the distraction and the strangeness of playing in a snow game? Because it actually affects the crowd as well. That big roar you get is often muffled when there's a snow game. And the second part, what's the footwear you got on? Does that fit the turf you're playing on? And how will it handle as things get a little bit slick?
So here are the Chiefs now coming out for their opening drive. And they will be led out by a man in his sophomore campaign as the quarterback.
And he's been, in my mind, the best player in the NFL at this point of the season. And I think if you polled folks with a ballot, and I certainly have one, I think they'd say he's the front runner for MVP. So now it comes down to finishing out the season strong, and a good game here would certainly strengthen his case.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Oh, he's going to air it out right away. And this one nearly picked off. Kind of surprising to see a defender of his caliber let it get away, but get away it does, and it's second down. Well, these two teams met in Kansas City earlier this season with the Chiefs winning that ball game. So they're looking for the series sweep here in Denver. And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. Flush to his right. That's caught. It's Xavier Worthy. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. 23 yards the pickup there. Solid catch there for a man who's been so brilliant this year. Worth pointing out, as we were talking about earlier, there has never in the 60-year history of the award been a pass catcher, tight end, or wide receiver that has taken home the MVP trophy.
And the best receivers I've talked with, they know that stat, and it drives them crazy because they understand that without a quarterback, they don't make the plays that they make. But they also don't feel like they get enough credit for bailing out some of the throws the quarterbacks make.
Absolutely. Takes two to tango. Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. He'll take a shot for the end zone. And that is caught. Touchdown, Kansas City. Rashee Rice with his 16th touchdown of the year. And the Chiefs march right down the field in 3 plays to claim the early advantage. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams, I script to probe in the early part of the game. Other teams, I script to attack. They've been in attack mode for these ball games and continue that in this one.
They'll try and throw for it. And they're going to get 2 more. He's got it. So that didn't take long. Quickly 8-zip. Tell you what, they're not messing around. You get the quick touchdown, and then you go for 2 to go up 8-0 here on the road.
In a sense, they hit him with a big shot right away. You don't throw a jab after you throw the haymaker, right? Go ahead and go for 2. They did. They're in control.
Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. pushing his way through. So here are the Broncos now for their opening drive. And they will be led out by their second-year quarterback.
And it felt like it watching the game tape. He got everyone involved last week.
He was a manager.
He really was. That's a great way to put it because they ran the ball some. They threw it accurately. One touchdown pass, so he didn't, break the bank doing that, but he didn't throw any interceptions. That's the bottom line. That's why a defense loves a quarterback like that. Doesn't put them in bad situations.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
How about that, partner? That happened in a hurry. Sudden, explosive, gets into the backfield and spills the play.
And he was AFC Defensive Player of the Week last week because of plays just like that. First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. They'll stay on the ground with Williams. And he'll take this to the 32, a gain of about 3. 3rd and 9 here. Now it's Nix. That is caught. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. The 21. Yards there as they convert on 3rd. Operating from the gun, here's Nix. And he's taken down, a Chiefs sack. It looks like a loss of right around 11 there on 1st down to set him back on 2nd.
Well, competition comes up in so many different ways, and right now, this unit, their competition is who's going to get to the quarterback the most times. Had about 5 sacks last week, and we just saw their first one of this game.
Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. Working out of the gun is Nix. Under pressure, and they got to him again. They'll wind up losing a full 9 yards here on the sack. Now it's 3rd down.
And they're picking up right where they left off with the shutout that they pitched last week. A huge part of that, this pass rush. They know how to get after people.
Offensively, good luck finding some answers right now. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Points 1, 2, and 3 in their defensive game plan was to get to the quarterback and knock the ball free. They did it there. Luckily, offense hangs on to it.
Yeah, that's got to serve as a wake-up call, though, because they can't afford to let the ball go over to the defense and miss opportunities. And I'm not saying it happened here, but you know what a good rule of thumb is when a play like that occurs? You know who usually recovers it? The guy who missed his block and let his quarterback get hit.
1 quarter down, 8-0 the score. The Chiefs with the football as we start the 2nd quarter, as they get set to start their drive with a 1st and 10. KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. They have to be thrilled with that first drive. They got them the touchdown. Now they'll be looking to make it a 2-score advantage here on the road.
And you know they spent all week in practice, in meetings, talking about taking an early advantage. Being the road team, going up a score, that takes the crowd out of the game and puts some doubt in the minds of their opponents.
The extra effort after the catch makes it good for a gain of 26 and also a first down. He's really starting to get up there towards 1,000. He's now at 997 career catches. So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory, right at the 40. On play action, they'll throw. Steps away. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. He's got it. Touchdown, Chiefs. Xavier Worthy, his 26th touchdown, drawing even with Marshall Faulk for the 4th most in a single season. And the Chiefs are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Boy, Charles, this offense is just so explosive. They lead the league in scoring, and another example of just how good they are right there on that play.
Yeah, we often overstate about how explosive teams are, but this team is truly a threat to score on every snap, especially on the first few plays of any series. And a big strike like that only adds to their reputation as the league's best offense.
They'll look to throw. And the conversion good. He's got it. So the lead swells to 16-0. I think we're sensing a trend here. 2 first-half touchdowns. After going for 2 after the first score, CD, I thought maybe they would kick the PAT here. No, they get 2 more.
No, they decided to really press the advantage because, remember, getting the 2 after the first score, you've already got the other team back on their heels if they're going to mount a comeback. But to go up 2 scores and 2 two-point conversions, you've really got them thinking on the other sideline.
And he'll wisely just take a knee here, and this ball will come out to the 30-yard line. So now the second drive offensively coming up for the Denver Broncos as we grind toward the end of the season here, and they haven't had the season that they had hoped. So let me ask you to play GM. Where might they look to make some changes?
I think when you look into the upcoming draft, think hard about them drafting multiple offensive linemen. They've got to get stouter up front. And as a GM always tells me, Charles, this is a big boy league, and big people always end up winning games for you.
2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12. Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? You know, people say bring in your tight end, keep him in. Your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give yourself a chance.
And the Chiefs are going to get him. The defense rising to the challenge and setting them back on the sack. So that now 4 first-half sacks. This pass rush has been unrelenting.
And partner, you hear that sound of paper being ripped to shreds? That's the game plan that they've had so far because they've got to say to themselves right now, we have to do something differently.
Here's Brian Anger now as he'll kick it away for the second time. He'll send this one into the mile-high air, and it's a good one. Shrugs the tackle.
Nice.
A nice return that time of about 14 yards. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. And the Chiefs offense ready to go again. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
And he's able to break out of 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. Now 2nd and 5. Again, it's Pacheco. And he's able to work his way down inside the red zone to the 19-yard line. That one good for 12 yards into Kansas City first. Defensively, they were in the 3-4. Solid run up the middle. What made it successful?
Well, what you have to do is control the nose guard, but sometimes you don't do it by blocking him. You do it by influencing him. Get him moving to one side or the other and hit him back on the opposite.
So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20. He'll look to throw. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
The way he's been slinging it in the first half, you expect everything he throws to go for a touchdown, but I guess he's going to have to wait to try and pick up that third, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought he had him for a second, but you're right, not to be. Now a 2nd and 10. They'll set up a throw. And he's going to look that one in one-handed. What a catch for the touchdown. Well, Charles, he's still a young signal caller in this league, 2nd year in the NFL. And I don't know if last year as a rookie, if he would have worked through his progressions like he did on that touchdown pass.
I think you're right about that. We're seeing him grow up right in front of our eyes because when he went to his primary read, he recognized that they were all over that, so he continued to survey the field, picked up another target, and delivered a pass exactly where it needed to be. A very mature play for the 2nd-year quarterback.
Andy Reid never one to shy away from taking chances. He'll go for 2. They're going to look to throw. And this is going to be caught. It's good. And that extends their lead by 2 more. He hits the big target for the 2-point try. Defenses hate those guys, especially around the goal line.
It's hard to decide who you're going to put on him. Are you going to put a smaller corner on him? Are you going to put a safety who doesn't have maybe the same coverage skills? How about a linebacker? He may have the size, but he's not used to really covering in space. That's why the tight end gives you such a great advantage when you're throwing the football.
Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. And no thought of bringing this one out. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll begin the drive at the 30. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, and this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
Now on 2nd and 10, here's Nix again. And he's taken down, a Chiefs sack. Leo Chanel. That is now 2 sacks for him here in this first half. But Charles, this has been something to watch so far. This is where you really feel for a quarterback. He's been running for his life in this first half.
Brandon, that's 5 sacks already, so you know he's got to be saying, can we get some more guys in here to block, please? Because if we don't, we're going to need another quarterback.
Here is 3rd and quite a ways. Not wanting to risk another sack, they'll play it safe with a run. And they'll indeed stop him on 3rd down. And now what do you want to do with your timeouts? No gain on the play there. A nice job defensively. And it likely forces a punt situation on 4th.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
On 4th down, here's Brian Anger now to kick this one away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. On the return, Hardy. So we've reached halftime with the visiting Chiefs on top. As we send you on out to our studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman at REA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. It's all down to this. Week 18 of the NFL regular season. Lots to be decided, so let's get right to it. We'll get started up at Cleveland Browns Stadium in Cleveland, where it was definitely a game with some intrigue, as you can see by the scoreline. Tim Patrick, over 100 yards receiving and a touchdown catch as well. From there, let's get over to Arizona to check on the Cardinals at home in Glendale. And they trail in that one as it's the visiting Jags who are out in front. Devin Duvernay, a touchdown reception. Lastly, we head to Southern California to check on the Rams at home at SoFi Stadium. As you can see the score there in the second quarter. Will Levis has thrown a touchdown pass.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Rocky Mountain snow looks like it's going to continue through this second half as we are back underway in Denver. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. We'll see, Charles, if they had a chance to hit the reset button at halftime. They have not scored. They're facing this big deficit. And if they're going to come back, it's going to have to start right now.
Yeah, and for them, it's not dwelling in the negative because, yes, they were totally ineffective in the first half. But we've seen many games that have flipped around in the second half. It all starts with this drive right here. They get something good going, put some points up.
And the ball is knocked out. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. He was held without a catch in the first half, but he's got one here, and he also picks up a first down. Nix from the shotgun. And the Chiefs are going to get him. Michael Dana in there to record another sack, and that is now 6 on the afternoon for this defensive unit.
I think we've seen this before. If someone's down 3 scores, that situation there, it's just going to add to their growing frustrations, don't you think?
Yeah, a bad number 3 right now. 3-score game, third quarter, 3 and out, not what they wanted. And you can tell on the sideline, those faces are getting a little bit longer as this one goes. Throwing Nix. Over the middle, and it's incomplete.
I'm getting the sense that this offense is getting frustrated. Here we are into the third quarter, and they've had plenty of opportunities to get in sync. Thus far, that hasn't happened. They're looking for answers both on the sidelines and in the huddle looking at each other.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And he's going to be brought down here in the backfield. It's a loss of 10 on the sack, and it leads to 4th.
Looks like another empty possession here, partner, and I don't think with 3 scores down in the third quarter, they can truly afford any more the rest of the way.
No, especially the way their offense is sputtering. I think you're exactly right. They got to find some answers quickly. Here's Brian Anger now as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. Here's Hardy set to return. And he will finally be shoved out of bounds down at the 30-yard line. A big-time return there, 40 yards. And they will take over 1st and 10. the play fake. He'll look to throw. Leaping, and he makes the grab.
And he'll be touched down in the end, but a big play on that one.
In this weather, any big play in the passing game, that's just a bonus, right?
It certainly is, but oftentimes offenses think in clement weather plays to their advantage because you know where you're going on offense. Defenders have to react, and they often slip.
This offense continues to be a hot knife through butter. 3 drives, 3 scores, and knocking on the door again on drive number 4.
And that's caught. It's Kelce. Touchdown, Kansas City. Travis Kelce with a milestone. Career touchdown number 100. Joining Curtis Martin and Franco Harris at the century mark as he continues to climb the all-time list.
And the Chiefs have opened the lead up to 30.
Andy Reid never one to shy away from taking chances. He'll go for 2. They'll try and run it up the middle. And make him 4 for 4 now on 2-point conversions as he'll take this one in for the score.
Personally, I'd rather see him kick the extra point there than to go for 2, but it almost feels like there's a story within the story here. I mean, this isn't college. You know, size of victory, that matters in those games. Here, all you have to do is win by 1 point. That's all that you need. Instead, they go for it, get 2. You got some pretty ticked off folks on the other sideline now.
Harrison Butker at a kickoff for Kansas City.
Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. And they're going to mark that where it went out of bounds. So really good starting field position up past the 40-yard line.
Well, you don't see that often. He just mishit it, and it goes out of bounds.
Well, I know sitting up here, and I'm looking at you, and you're looking at me, and I know we're both thinking the same thing. Isn't it easy enough to keep it between the sidelines? Because unless you're intentionally doing it for some reason, well, that's a costly mishit, and now you put your team in a bad spot.
Good starting position for the Broncos here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 42.
Here's Nix.
Able to complete this one to McLeod. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain.
Now a 2nd and 2.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw.
On the throw, led him too much that time. It's incomplete.
And there's another stop. One of the league's best defenses is certainly bringing it again this week.
After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2.
To throw is Nix.
And that is incomplete.
Well, partner, they've certainly played up to their top 10 defensive ranking this week. They've stifled this opposing offense throughout this game. This contest is now lopsided because of their efforts, and there's still a quarter to go.
And the punt over the side in the air, and the spot will be inside the 35. So now here are the Chiefs as their offense makes their way back out onto the field.
Well, this offense, this team, they are rolling right now, Charles. They've scored on 3 straight possessions. You look at the scoreboard, and they pretty much right now got this thing on cruise control.
Yeah, and this is that time of game where you and I have to be prepared, right? Isn't this kind of like that empty the bucket time where you have to go into your blowout material and make sure we have some different things? That's what we're staring at right now, the way this one is going.
Here's Pacheco to begin the drive.
And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up. Credit the tackle to John Franklin Myers. 1 quarter remains here as the regular season starts to wind down. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Able to avoid him at the 40. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and they'll be faced with a 3rd and inches. Back to throw. Short throw hauled in by Kelsey.
And he will have a Chiefs first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. But now we watch everything with great anticipation because he just had his 999th reception. And yes, math majors, the next one, a big one, 1,000.
They'll look to throw here on first down.
That's into the hands of Worthy.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. An 11-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Chiefs first down. And looking to put this game on ice in the 4th quarter, but still not afraid to throw it as they show there.
You want to play the game with confidence, and they have a guy who's in control right now. Their trigger guy, throwing it, they feel just as confident with him doing that as they would if they tried to run the ball and run the clock out.
Let's set a tone, fellas. Let's set a tone. 41, Mike. 41.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. Over the middle, that's caught by Rice. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair.
So the Chiefs in possession of the ball as we welcome you back. And they have just about put this one on ice as they've got it here, 1st and 10. Back to throw again. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. Despite the completion, they're going to wind up losing 3 there. 2nd down.
And we constantly talk about people being on the same page. In this situation, the 2 of them saw the play with the same eyes. They understood where the open spaces were going to be, and they found a way to get there to pick up a new set of downs.
Now it looks like he'll throw here.
He'll check this one down to Pacheco.
So that'll be no better than an incompletion. And it'll be a 3rd and about 13.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
A long way to go here on 3rd down for the 8th play of the drive. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw.
He's got his target. That's complete.
And he is out of bounds right around the 10-yard line.
A big play there as they get the conversion on 3rd and 13. Well, there's absolutely been no stopping this offense today. They already have the big lead, obviously. Here in the 4th quarter, they could coast to the end, but right now they're not passing up any chances to put up some garbage time yardage.
And, partner, why would they? Because who knows the next time you'll be playing as well as you have today. When you're in that zone, you go ahead and take full advantage of it. You don't worry about your opponent. You just worry about what you're doing.
So not quite a 1st and goal. It's 1st and 10 from the 10.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. The great move couldn't free him. Taken down at the 10. The Chiefs now going to use the first of their timeouts. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. And they'll indeed take a knee. Tough spot here. 3rd down and 11.
I know he ain't got it. Back 55, back 55. Bring it, bring it.
He'll look to throw. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he is stopped just short on 3rd down. Got 9 yards, but needed 10. Now another timeout called for by the offense. That'll leave him with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th. Now back to throw. And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown.
Well, business as usual for them. Well on their way to another victory. Riding a serious wave of momentum from what we've seen. And so far, they haven't met their match. So if you're going to play this team in the future, your mission is clear. You better be ready to play and match their firepower.
So the Chiefs opt to keep the offense out there, and they'll line up to go for 2. They're going to try and run. And they're a perfect 5 for 5 now on 2-point conversions as he is in to get them 2 more.
Well, I guess when you're hot, you're hot. I mean, I would just go ahead and take the extra point and move on, but apparently they've got something to prove. Almost feels like something was said this week, and they wanted to make sure that they laid it on them in this game.
Harrison Butker at a kickoff for Kansas City.
Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. Here's Mecole Hardman. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. Facing a big 4th quarter deficit here, things not looking good. You know, this offense, though, they've been in the top half of the NFL so far this season, but in this one, well, their defense has really struggled. 2nd and 6, just inside the 30. Nix to the air. Got an open man, it's McLeod.
So this one in the win column for Kansas City. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one, and that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, off a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory. So for Kansas City, they finish off a perfect regular season, 17-0. And now they'll have the week off as they get set to go after a Super Bowl title. Meanwhile, for the Broncos, this loss will be the capper to a dismal 4-13 campaign. And this front office will have plenty of work to do in the draft and through free agency to turn this ship around. And for Charles Davis and our entire